video, our objective is I will be able to create equivalent expressions with the fewest terms by combining like terms. Some vocabulary terms that I'm going to talk about are variable. That's a letter that represents a number. It's a placeholder for numbers. Coefficient. That is a number that is in front of the variable. For example, in the expression 2x, 2 is the coefficient. Constant. A constant is a number that doesn't have a variable, without a variable. It's fixed value. That means it doesn't change. For example, in the expression 2x plus 5, 5 is the constant because it doesn't have a variable. And then like terms. Like terms have to have the same variable, and we use the sign in front of the variable that tells us if it's positive or negative. So if it's plus 2x, then it would be a positive value. If it's minus 2x, it would be a negative value. Let's see some examples. One strategy that we can use is underlining the like terms in a similar fashion. So for example, we have 15a, that has an a in it, and also we have plus 5a, that also has an a in it, so we can combine those. We also have 2 b's, so I'm underlining that differently because it has a different variable. And I have 12 g's, I'm going to underline that 3 times. Notice how I'm underlining the plus in front of it. And then we have a negative 4g, which I'm also going to underline 3 times because it still has the g value. Notice I'm underlining that negative sign, or that subtraction sign. It's the same thing. And then finally, we have our w, which I'm going to put a square around just because I'm bored with the lines. So now we have the letters that we can underline. We have 15a plus 5a. Those were underlined. Then we have 2b, which was underlined twice. And then we have 12g and minus 4g, which was underlined 3 times. And then we have w and that we put a square around. So I've reordered it so you can see the like terms. Now we can actually solve it. So I have 15a plus 5a. Well, I have 15 plus 5, which would give me 20a. And then 2b I don't do anything with. And now I'm looking at 12g minus 4g. Well, that gives me 8g positive. And then w plus 6w would give me 7w. So that's my answer. Alright, let's look at the next example. Okay, let's try that again. Here we have 3x. So I'm going to underline the x's the same way. 3x minus 2x. And then I have my y's. I'm going to underline twice. And then 4w. Oh, and then 5z, that's different. So I'm going to put that one with a triangle. Or a quadrilateral. No, not a quadrilateral. Okay, now if I rewrite them in and I put them with like terms, I have 3x minus 2x plus 7y plus 6y plus 4w and 5z. Underline the x's 1 time, the y's 2 times, the w I put a square around, and then the z I put a triangle around. So now I can only add or subtract the ones that are underlined similarly. So I have 3x minus 2x. 3 minus 2 gives me 1, so I only have an x left. And then I have 7 plus 6, which gives me 13, so that's 13y. And then the 4w, there's nothing else to add, and 5z. And that is my answer. Let's try a little bit more difficult ones. Here, we have our constants that are the same terms, 5.2 and 10.6, and then we have the ones with v's, negative 8v and positive 5v. So if I reorder that, I have 5.2 plus 10.6 minus 8v plus 5v. These are the same terms, and these are the same terms. 10.6 plus 5.2 gives me 15.8, and then I have negative 8 plus 5v. So I'm looking at my coefficients, and I have to add 5 to negative 8. If I do that, since they're different signs, I need to subtract, and I keep the sign of a larger absolute value. That would actually give me negative 3v. So I'm going to subtract 3v. Notice how this gives me negative 3v, but I'm not writing this as 15.8 plus negative 3v. I'm writing it just as a subtraction because it's the same thing. So my answer is this. Alright, let's try this one here. We have our x's and our y's. So I have negative 4x plus x, and then I have 3 3/4 y minus 2 1/4 y. So I'm going to take my coefficients and I'm going to combine them. So I have negative 4 plus positive 1, which will give me negative 3. So this is negative 3x. And then now I have my fractions 3 3/4 minus 2 1/4, which gives me 1 2/4, which reduces down to 1 1/2 y. That's my answer. These here I want you to try on your own. Once you have them done, show me.